Imagine a planet transformed, a world buried under a suffocating blanket of ice, where colossal glaciers dominate the landscape and the very air crackles with cold. Imagine horizons stretching out, an endless expanse of white and gray, unbroken by the green of forests or the blue of open water. This was the reality, the daily struggle for our ancestors during the last great ice age, a time when survival wasn't just a concept, but a moment-to-moment fight against the elements. The air stung like needles, biting at any exposed skin, and the wind, a constant howling presence, could freeze you solid in minutes, turning flesh to ice in the blink of an eye. It was a world where the cold was a tangible enemy, always lurking, always threatening. No cities offered refuge, no warm houses provided comfort, just the brutal, unforgiving wilderness, stretching as far as the eye could see. A landscape sculpted by ice and wind, a testament to the raw power of nature. Survival was a relentless, minute-by-minute battle, a constant negotiation with the environment. Every breath was a victory, every sunrise a renewed challenge. Every day was a desperate search for warmth, a never-ending quest to find enough food to stave off starvation. The simplest tasks became monumental efforts, demanding every ounce of strength and ingenuity. A single mistake, wet clothes clinging to your skin, a wrong turn leading you astray, meant death, a silent, icy end in a world that offered no second chances. Families huddled together in smoky caves, seeking meager shelter from the storm, listening to the chilling sounds of predators prowling outside, their hunger a constant threat. Cave bears, massive and powerful, dire wolves, hunting in packs, their eyes gleaming in the darkness, saber-toothed cats, silent and deadly, masters of ambush. Firewood was precious, a lifeline against the cold. Water was hard to find, often requiring the melting of ice and snow, a laborious and time-consuming task, and the nights were absolute darkness, a terrifying void filled with unseen dangers and the gnawing fear of the unknown. Our ancestors were pushed to the very limits of human endurance, their bodies and spirits tested in ways we can scarcely imagine, forced to be smart, resourceful and brave, constantly innovating and adapting to survive in this hostile environment. They learned to read the weather, understanding the subtle signs that foretold blizzards and thaws, track animals across the frozen wastes, deciphering their movements and habits to secure precious food and work together, sharing their knowledge and resources, supporting each other through unimaginable hardship, because alone, isolated from the group, you didn't survive for long in this frozen world. Their story is one of incredible resilience, a testament to the power of the human spirit to overcome even the most daunting challenges, a testament to the unbreakable will to live, to protect their families and to ensure the survival of their kind. This was their world, a harsh and unforgiving place that demanded everything and offered little in return, and their fight for survival, their ingenuity, their courage, is not just a chapter in history, but our story, the foundation upon which our modern world is built. Sometimes even the toughest skills weren't enough. Blizzards raged for weeks, herds vanished, and starvation crept in. When all food was gone, some faced the unthinkable cannibalism. It wasn't cruelty but desperate necessity, a last resort to keep the group alive. Archaeologists have found chilling evidence, human bones with cut marks, broken for marrow, mixed with animal remains. These acts were grim, methodical, and born of pure survival. It's a disturbing part of our past, but it shows how far our ancestors would go to keep humanity alive. The instinct to survive overpowered every rule. Even in the darkest moments, they fought to endure. Deep in Somerset, England, Gough's Cave holds one of the Ice Age's darkest secrets. Archaeologists found the remains of at least 5 people, including children, scattered among animal bones and tools. These weren't burials, they were evidence of a meal. Human skulls were cleaned and shaped into drinking cups, long bones cracked for marrow. The cut marks show a practiced, systematic process. Cannibalism as a survival strategy, not a one-time act. Gough's Cave forces us to confront the harshest realities of the Ice Age. Survival sometimes meant breaking the ultimate taboo. The line between life and death was razor thin. In the unforgiving landscape of the Ice Age, survival was a daily struggle, resources were scarce, and the environment presented constant threats. To survive, our ancestors faced incredible odds, pushing themselves to the very limit. They hunted the ultimate prize, the woolly mammoth. These colossal creatures roamed the earth, giants of their time, and represented a vital source of sustenance and materials for early humans. One mammoth meant food, clothing, providing sustenance to ward off starvation and materials to protect against the brutal cold. Shelter and tools. Essential components for building a life in a world that offered little comfort. Mammoth bones formed the very foundations of their homes, while tusks were meticulously crafted into tools for hunting and daily tasks, for an entire clan. The successful hunt of a single mammoth could sustain a community, ensuring their survival through harsh winters and lean times. It was a shared victory, a testament to their collective effort and resilience. But hunting a 6-ton beast with spears, armed with only rudimentary tools and their own courage, was a deadly gamble. The odds were stacked against them, and the consequences of failure were dire. Hunters worked as a team, their survival dependent on their ability to coordinate and trust one another. Each member played a crucial role, contributing their skills and knowledge to the collective effort. Using fire and noise, employing every tactic they could devise to gain an advantage over their massive prey. Torches illuminated the darkness, while carefully orchestrated sounds disoriented and drove the mammoth towards their carefully laid traps. To drive a mammoth into traps, ingeniously constructed pits concealed beneath layers of snow and vegetation, or over cliffs. These perilous strategies required precise timing and unwavering nerve, pushing both hunter and hunted to their limits. The kill was chaotic and dangerous, a whirlwind of motion, sound, and raw power. Many hunters died trying. The risks were ever present, and the price of failure was often paid in blood. Success brought a flurry of activity, a race against time and the elements. Butchering the carcass, a task that demanded speed and efficiency, before scavengers arrived or the meat froze solid. Every moment was precious, and the entire clan worked tirelessly to secure their hard-won bounty. Every part was used, nothing was wasted. Meat, fat, hide, each providing essential nutrients and protection. Bones, even stomach contents, were utilized to their fullest potential. The mammoth hunt was the ultimate test, a crucible that forged the very essence of human resilience, of courage, teamwork, and ingenuity. It demanded every ounce of their physical and mental strength. Failure meant starvation, a slow and agonizing death in the face of relentless winter. Success could still cost lives. The risks were immense, and the line between triumph and tragedy was often blurred. The risk was immense, a constant reminder of the power and unpredictability of nature, but so was the reward. Sustenance, shelter, and the continuation of their way of life hung in the balance. These hunts defined Ice Age survival, shaping their culture, their social structures, and their very identity. They demanded everything our ancestors had, pushing them to the absolute limits of human endurance. The mammoth was both a lifeline, providing the means to survive in a hostile world, and a deadly challenge, a formidable adversary that demanded respect and unwavering focus. It was survival at its most extreme, a testament to the indomitable spirit of humankind. Bringing down a mammoth was a triumph, but even victory was risky. The meat could be riddled with parasites like trichinella, causing deadly illness. Without modern knowledge, every meal was a gamble. Raw or spoiled meat could kill. Preservation was a race against time. Meat was buried in permafrost, but if it thawed, bacteria thrived. Eating spoiled food meant sickness and death in the unforgiving cold. Our ancestors learned by brutal trial and error, cooking meat, avoiding certain parts. Even their greatest prize could turn deadly. Survival meant not just conquering the beast, but the invisible dangers within. Every bite was a risk. The hardship of the Ice Age was relentless. The Ice Age was filled with predators. Giant bears, dire wolves, saber-toothed cats. Humans were outmatched, so they became innovators. The spear thrower, or atlatl, let them strike from a distance, turning prey into hunters. Defensive barriers, stakes, fire, mammoth bones, protected camps from night attacks. Fire was both warmth and weapon, keeping predators at bay. These tools were more than survival. They were symbols of human ingenuity. Each weapon was a refusal to give in. Outthinking the beasts was our ancestors' greatest strength. This was the turning point, shaping the world, not just surviving it. Intelligence became our ultimate weapon. The Earth was on a path to recovery. After millennia locked in the grip of the last Ice Age, the world was finally beginning to thaw. Glaciers were receding, vast ice sheets were shrinking, and temperatures were gradually rising. But just as life was beginning to flourish again, disaster struck with unimaginable force. A large comet or asteroid, a visitor from the outer reaches of the solar system, entered Earth's atmosphere and exploded with the force of 1,000 suns over North America. The impact unleashed apocalyptic heat waves and ignited massive wildfires that engulfed entire forests and grasslands in flames. Soot, ash, and dust billowed into the atmosphere, forming a thick, dark cloud that blotted out the sun. This sudden blockage of sunlight triggered a catastrophic climate shift, plunging the world back into a deep freeze known as the Younger Dryas. The warming trend that had been underway for centuries abruptly reversed almost overnight. The Ice Age returned with a vengeance, bringing even harsher and more brutal conditions than before. The evidence of this cataclysmic impact is clearly visible today, preserved in a thin, dark layer of sediment in the soil, a telltale sign filled with microscopic cosmic debris and impact markers. Below this layer, we find a record of life before the impact, fossils of animals and tools crafted by human hands. But above it, a sudden and stark silence. The megafauna disappear from the fossil record and human artifacts vanish from the archaeological sites. The abrupt climate shift triggered by the impact devastated ecosystems across the globe. Great herds of woolly mammoths, giant bison, and other Ice Age megafauna were driven to extinction. Human hunters, who had relied on these animals for sustenance, suddenly found their primary food source gone, almost overnight. Starvation, desperation, and societal collapse followed in the wake of this environmental catastrophe. The world became a much darker, colder, and emptier place, a stark reminder of the fragility of life on Earth. For the survivors, life was once again reduced to a desperate fight for survival against the elements. The Younger Dryas was a 1,000-year winter, a death sentence for many. With megafauna gone, old strategies failed. Hunters turned to rabbits, birds, fish, and plants, anything to survive. Gathering enough food became a grueling daily struggle. Populations crashed, many perished in the relentless cold. Archaeology shows a dramatic drop in settlement sites and cultural activity. Humanity was pushed to the brink of extinction, yet the toughest and most adaptable survived. They invented new tools, nets, snares, and formed tighter communities. Innovation and cooperation became essential. The Great Dying forged a new kind of human, more flexible, more resilient. The survivors passed on their knowledge and genes. They were the ultimate survivors. The Ice Age didn't just shape our culture, it shaped our bodies. Survivors passed down traits like efficient fat storage, vital for enduring famine. Today, that thrifty gene helps store fat, but in a world of abundance, it can lead to obesity and disease. Our bodies are still wired for scarcity, not plenty. We carry the legacy of those who faced down mammoths and survived the cold. Their endurance is written in our DNA. It's a powerful reminder of human resilience. But ask yourself, if you were thrown back into that frozen world, would you survive?